For generations to come, we hope that the Nigeria of our dreams will certainly be reality. We hope that for generations to come, unity will be our watchword. And of course, moving Nigeria forward will be our main task. Now, today on the show, we'll be looking at the future of Nigeria. And to speak to us about this, or to discuss with us about this, we have with us a very, very special guest in the person of Mark Idiahi. Mark is a brand and communication strategist, a certified chartered strategic manager, and leadership expert. His career vision is to be involved in assessing the need for acquiring and implementing revolutionary strategies and systems for top-notch performance in organizations. Mark is proudly Nigerian, and today he's proudly speaking about the future of Nigeria. Welcome, Mark.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Hello,
Thank you for joining
Nigeria.
us, Mark.
Thank you.
Now, I mean, from your looks, it's obvious that you're a post-independence child, and you went there in 1960. You were born many years after the independence. How would you say Nigeria has fared so far in your lifetime? Do you think we're living up to the dreams of the founding fathers? No, the independence founding fathers, the Ziks, and the Obafemi Awolowo's and the Abubakar Tafawa Balewa. If they look down 57 years down the line, do you think they'll be happy with the country in its present state?
I do not think that they'll be proud of where we are right now, presently, as a nation, as a country. The point is, or rather, we don't dwell on the past because so much has actually gone wrong in terms of where we are, where we could have been, where we should have been, and what we could have done. But rather, I want us to be more optimistic as regard where we can move on from here. Yes, a lot of things have. I had a conversation, let me just put this in proper perspective. I had a conversation with an elderly man, a man I should call a mentor recently. And while we were having that conversation, he said to me, Mark, I have failed my generation because I believe that we didn't do what we're supposed to do. And he said, but I want to tell you something. I can live with that now. I have to learn to live with that fact, with that ugly reality. But I want to advise you. I know you're very zealous, you're passionate, you have this thing going on about leadership and the future of Nigeria. Let me advise you, you are better do something about your generation because you cannot put up, I don't see you being able to cope with the fact that you had the opportunity, you had everything going on and all the enormous potentials and you didn't do something about that. Now that becomes like a wake-up call for me. Then I made up my mind that I wasn't going to be among the wailing, the masses, people that are complaining, yes, about all the things that are going wrong. But instead, I'm going to be channeling my energy and being a part of those that are making difference in the society.
I like that you mentioned that you're going to be a part of those who are making a difference in the society. Yeah. But let's also look at the historical school of thought that says that for you to be able to go forward, you need to take a step back, to look behind and see where you're coming from. Now let's look at Nigeria at 56. Okay. We had a major recession in our hands. Lots of people complain about the fact that we didn't make adequate planning for us to get to where we were. Now Nigeria is 57. Let's not go too far back. Benga went back to the days of Tafawa. Okay. Let's just go 1 year behind. Right. Do you think that the lessons, the issues that we were involved in that put us in where we were at the time, at the recession, do you think we've been able to take valid lessons and started applying them? Have we learned the lessons that the recession taught us in 2016 now that we're in 2017? Yes,
there are a couple of improvements in terms of having savings now. But honestly speaking, looking back at what's actually caused the recession and looking at where we are right now, I don't think we are doing so much. I think we are inventing the wheel because until we are able to look at getting the right people in the right positions, re-strategize and bring in people that has the capacity to position this nation rightly, doing what we are supposed to do, I don't think we'll be getting it right. As far as I'm concerned, we are still reinventing the wheel as far as this is concerned.
All right. Now, you talk about reinventing the wheel. Yeah. Now, one of the things that we saw earlier on when we were playing the video was that Nigeria has a dependence on oil and it contributes 80% to the country's economy. We have been talking about diversification of the economy. We've looked at agriculture, we've looked at manufacturing, we've looked at infrastructure. So look at roads, we look at power. How best do you think the government can work towards diversifying the economy and ensuring that, like Olive mentioned as a follow-up question, we wouldn't find ourselves in such a fix? We're looking forward. As we look back, we're looking forward.
Yes.
What can Nigeria as a nation, the government, the people do to ensure that Nigeria moves forward and diversifies the economy?
All right, thank you very much. The major cause why we found ourselves where we were was our over-dependence on oil. Nigeria is blessed with enormous natural resources, human capacities. We have to try as much as we can as a nation to look away from oil as the only source of revenue as a nation. Like you mentioned, we have a number of agriculture. We can dive into agriculture and try to become a major exporter of some of the produce that we have. What are the cocoa? We have to go back to becoming major producers of cocoa. And if you can mention, the list goes on. So we have to look at agriculture, look at all the other avenues. Instead of putting so much emphasis on oil as the only source of revenue as a nation. Because if we don't do that, looking at the fluctuation in the oil market right now, we can't build on that.
So what
we
are
have
the
to look
practical
away.
steps that the government has to take in?
Number one, I talk about agriculture. We have to look at agriculture, see how we can invest in agriculture. See how we can invest in agriculture and become a major exporter in as far as agriculture is concerned.
Now, Mark, you're a leadership expert.
Yes.
And you're very passionate about leadership. There's a school of thought that says that the people deserve the kind of leaders they have. So I want to ask you now, are leaders born or are leaders made? And what role is leadership going to play in moving Nigeria to that promised land?
All right. You see, John Maxwell is reputed for quoting that everything rise and fall on leadership. You see, I was having a conversation with someone recently. The man is from Kwara State. I can't mention his name now for some obvious reason. And he said that in Kwara State, they have a population well over 3 million. And he's on record that we've not had, that's the record that INEC has, that they've not had at least 1 million people participate in the electioneering process, like people coming out during the election to vote.
Yeah.
Now, most Nigerians, I live there, I interact with people on a daily basis. As far as leadership in this country is concerned, they are hopeless. They believe that there's no way. As far as when the election comes, it's just like another game. They don't think that we have to be involved. People believe that politics is dirty. There's no point getting involved and all of that. But the point I want to make here is that you can't make a difference outside of the system. We have to learn to get involved. Now, you ask a question, are leaders born or are leaders made? I don't believe that leaders are born. I wasn't born a leader. I went through the process. I'm still in the process of becoming a better person. We are all leaders. We are all family. I said yesterday, I had a live video earlier in the morning, and I said we all have a word. We have two kinds. The word from the Greek word, we have aeon and we have cosmos. I'm not when I mean word here, I'm not referring to the galaxies, the stars, and the moons. I'm talking about the aeon. The aeon in this respect is your own world, the people you interact with on a daily basis, your driver, yes, your immediate fellow of contact. What kind of leadership? Are you a leader in your fellow of contact? Do you embody that leadership? So now, I don't believe that we have to keep pointing fingers at those that are doing it wrong, but we as young people, yes, we have to take responsibility.
Okay. Yes. We have a short video. We went to the streets on Friday and we asked ordinary Nigerians out there, what do you feel? How do you feel about Nigeria celebrating the 57th anniversary? Check out the video.
As Nigeria is going to 57 by Sunday, so we just appeal to our leaders to create more jobs so that we people, the young ones, can have jobs. And then everybody can enjoy the country.
As Nigeria be 57 now, but as everything be now, it's not okay like before. Before it's okay past this one, because before we get everything easy, it's easily, but now we are not getting everything as we easily before, as it be before.
I want President Buhari to do more better, to arrest all those people who are eating our money in Nigeria, because they don't want Nigerians to grow up. So when they arrest them, they collect our money from them so that everything will be okay for poor people. But all rich men are eating alone. They don't remember poor people. So I want him to do more better than this.
Anyway, Nigeria is a great country, going by what we have and what we can see. But the issue we are having at hand is mismanagement. Most people have their own personal interest at heart other than the interest of the general nation, okay? That's all I can say. But Nigeria, just like I said, is a great nation. If only we can use the potentials we have, we'll go a long way.
It's a good thing that Nigeria will be 57 in a few days. And being Nigerian, personally, I would say that the country has been in a state whereby a lot of people have different opinion, different perspective, and people have different reaction to the way things have actually been going. Because really it hasn't been so pleasant looking at the situation of the economy, and the recession states of the economy, which is not making things so pleasant for most of we the Nigerians. But we're just praying that that things will surely get better.
Nigeria has come a long way, and we as citizens of this great country should not give up on our country, because there is nobody who would make this country great or take this country where we desire to take it to but ourselves. So we should look back and see where each and every one of us should contribute our quota towards taking this country to where it rightfully belongs.
At 57, I would expect Nigeria to be as in more than we are right now, because we started way back, and at the level we are now and at the age we are approaching, we've not done well so far. So that's my take up.
7 years independence of Nigeria is, in fact, it's right from the inception of Nigeria, it has nothing yet to be written home about.
Well, interesting feedback there from different people. I'd like to know what Mark thinks about what the elderly people said, most especially.
Okay, looking at those people,
saying things in the past.
Saying something about the past. You can just about tell that they are frustrated. They are very, very, they feel that there's nothing they can do. They have to learn to live with the situation they find themselves. You see the category, how he categorized it. He said the rich are enjoying while we, the poor, are just barely getting by. That's, I don't know how you feel about that. To me, that's very painful for you to think that, okay, there's this group of people that have it going for them. They can afford all the basic necessities and feed well. Then we have these other people that are just struggling, trying to get by. I have a foundation that work with the prison authority. And recently I visited the prisons and I had the opportunity to interact with young people, those that you call juvenile delinquents. And there was this particular guy that was arrested. I won't mention the names, for obvious reason. He's in prison because he stole 5,000 naira from the madam. The madam told him, I'm going to ensure that I deal with you. So he called the DPO, who is his friend, and they picked him up, and he's on 2 years awaiting trials. So he told me, he said, Oga, if I come out of this place, with the way things are going, I'm going to ensure that I get really bad now. Because the people we are in the prison together, some of them told me that, man, they kidnap or they stole, use some of money and they're here. So I don't feel justified by the fact that I'm not put into the same prison with these people.
For 5,000. For
5,000 naira. So in other words, this guy, until we have to begin, well, we took him out, we started visiting and doing a whole lot about trying to orientate, work on his mind. But the truth is that go on the streets and you interact with people, they are angry, they are hungry. You see, it's not about rhetorics and it's not about book now. A man who is hungry on the streets, a man who is desperate. I told some people this morning, you can't say you're safe because you have these iron doors and security and you're safe. These same people you refuse to listen to today that are roaming around in the street, no education and nothing, they will turn around to be the same people that will terrorize you and kidnap your own children because that's their own way of expressing their anger and their frustration.
I mean, you couldn't have said it better. Yeah. Very true. And, boiling down to leadership, we see that you have a passion for leadership and you're also a convener of the Future Leadership Conference. Why did you start that? Tell us a bit about it. Why did you start it and what's the plan?
Thank you very much. There's a spiritual undertone to it. Okay. I had a dream what you may call a trance, very early in the morning. They brought a young guy to me who they said stole some money. And because I was a leader in the place, I was meant to discipline him, which was what I did. Then afterward, I said, okay, you go get the money and pay back. So he went. After he had calmed down, he came to me and said, sir, you said I should go pay back the money. I'm an orphan. If I had parents, I would not have stolen in the first place. And I started crying. I woke up from that, and I started asking, what is all this? I got the interpretation immediately that I was supposed to be working and creating platform where young people can find their purpose, where young people can have direction. Now, it's not just about, we talk about leadership in this place. It's transcend the chronological age and phase. Because if you are 60, 70, or 80, in spite of, irrespective of your age, if you can't figure your way out, if you can't navigate your way through all the life complexity and vicissitude, you're young. You need somebody to direct you. So that's what gives birth. That's what inspires.
And channel that energy, yeah.
Thank you very much. Yeah. That's why we now do what we do. As
you have
platform.
An event coming up. Can you?
Yes, we have a Future Leadership Conference this year's edition. The theme is Strategic Leadership, the Rise of a New Class. So we want to look at the dichotomy between leadership and strategy, because we have leaders. We've always had leaders.
So when is this event happening?
It's coming up on the 21st of October at NIIA, that's Nigeria International
Institute of International Affairs.
Thank you very much. 10 a.m.
Thank you very much.
10 a.m. 21st.
Yes.
How can people follow you on social media? Because you're so passionate.
Yeah, we have Future Leadership Conference on Instagram. We have it on Facebook. You can follow me on Twitter at Idiahi.
All right.
Wonderful.
Thank you very much,
so
Idiahi. It's been a pleasure having you on Hello Nigeria.
Thank you for having me.
To enjoy more of these our Ogbonge videos when you just watch, press this button to subscribe on top of our YouTube page. You go love am.